better, Lord, and more beneficial to our students, that indeed will speak to us. Lots of things that are going to be like revealed to us, and some probably that may be new, and we just pray that all of them will make a difference in our lives, so that to make a difference in our trainings. We thank you and we praise you. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. Praise the Lord. Amen. When we were thinking about this conference, we were thinking that there are things that we need to talk about and go through in relation to the training program that we are having. And even as the theme is saying, making all things new, it will revitalize and make our trainings a little bit newer in approaches and all that kind of training delivery. So we thought about having this refresher course, and as I was putting this together, one of the things that I knew very well that we were going to do was to go through the materials and get to know what are some of the things that are new and that you may need to know and be aware of. I also thought of some other things that we can learn just to make us a little bit better in approaches to our training. And as I'm talking about training, remember I'm saying those who are doing super seminars and any kind of training or even promotionals that we do, and those who are doing training in TC. So I will be in a little while going through that material, and in a little while also give you opportunity to just identify some new things that are included there, things that have been improved. Some are not really new but improved as well. But I wanted to start with something different to get us going. And what I wanted to do was to talk about making your training classes special. Making your training classes special. Start from there, and then we'll go through those materials. In fact, also we'll be talking about something about maximizing teaching methods that we use as we teach our students. As we've been told, it's no longer as it was in the beginning, so it's today and forever shall be. We need to keep on thinking of different ways of doing things to make it more beneficial. So making your training classes special. Someone once said that the greatest threat to teaching is satisfaction. The greatest threat to teaching is satisfaction, because the good is the enemy to the better, and the better is the enemy to the best. Did you get that? Let me come back again and say it. What I intend to do is that nowadays I think people have become more digital. So I was thinking that I would email this, but if people will have one copies, we can produce the copies. I intentionally decided not to do a PowerPoint, so that I don't want to just go through it. So this is what it says. The greatest threat to teaching is satisfaction. Yani ukifika mahali useme mimi nimefika, yani I'm settled, I am good, I'm satisfied with what I'm doing. That's a threat. And it says, because the good is the enemy to the better. Did you get that? The good is the enemy to the better. And the better is the enemy to the best. So we can do, and you can do something good, and you say, wow, I am good, and you leave it at that. And that will deny you opportunity to become better. But you can also do something better and reach there and think, I did it better, everyone. And you settle there, then it can deny you the opportunity to become what? The best, isn't it? And I think every time we should be striving to the best. One time I think the president said, CF president, Riz Hoffman said, anything, however good it is done, can always be improved on. Anything, however good it is done, can always be done what? Improved on. And you will see that even today, there are so many things that come up. The computers, they keep on improving on them, isn't it? Kwanza walikuwa wakuja na zile kubwa kidogo, wakarudi kidogo. Now, in fact, now computers are even, you go to the US and some people are no longer using this thing. They have a phone, it's a small phone with everything. You can do PowerPoint presentations, you can do anything you can with the phone. So it doesn't, people do not even travel and work with these computers anymore. In Kenya, for us, some it's really still new, isn't it? But that's how it is. It's happening, improvement. So I think if everything in our training, however good we have been, we can become better, and we can come from better and become best, isn't it? So don't come to a moment that you are saying, I am okay, we are okay. People praise us, obviously. When you go and do a training, they say, hey, CF training, huh? Sindio? Now when you're defining a but we can think about making it better. So anytime we feel that we are good enough and need no more help, then at that point, either because we have done it many times, sometimes we say, we've done it many times. I started training when you what, and 19, so you what, and so no one can compare with me. Or it is because you are not leaving room for improvement, then you are not allowing the Lord to bring out the best in you. That's what we want to think about. So I want to think about ideas of making our classes great. Moving a little bit to a different level. And I'm using this acrostic great to bring out those few things. Some of them may just be common sense or just kind of normal things, but I thought of bringing them out to just help us a little bit. Now, I know CF is known on how they interact with their students, because instructors are not always sitting on a high table, isn't it? We like to deal with our people. So the first thing that the G is basically a very simple thing. That if you want to make your classes great, first of all, make sure that as you come in, greet your students. Greet your what? Students. And I will explain a little bit more on this. Now, these markers are little bit have a thinner, sharp pen, but I believe you'll be able to see. Greet your students. Now, what this does is that this makes them feel valued as individuals. They will feel that they are valued. Someone took time and greeted them. Even if they come in or you came in and found them, you don't just assume they are there and no interaction at all. Anytime that someone that is a little bit superior to you comes down and greets you, it makes you feel special, isn't it? And that you are recognized. I'm just giving an example of just recently when we were in the international conference. And I remember this time where I was somewhere and Riz Hoffman comes and says, hello Edwin, you know how that makes me feel? You know me, by name, and you can come and do what, say hello. Because I assume we've interacted in any other forum that I'm thinking he meets so many people, so I don't think he recognizes me anyway. So when you bring students, it makes them feel what? Special. And that is, and value. And that is very important. And that also what happens is that you are not treating them, when we are coming to adult learning, the apostle was doing on adult learning, he talks about these people are not children. They are coming with experiences in your class, isn't it? Different experiences. They may not know what you're going to teach them as much, but they may have some experiences that are even better than what you already know. So don't assume they don't know anything. And so you are the boss. And whatever you tell them is the final. So make sure that they find out who they are, find out their experiences in the past, and you can draw out from their experiences, and it can help you. Treat each student with respect and address them by name. Show that you care. Show that you care. Someone said that the first quality of an instructor is the ability to understand how the students feel and think. The ability to understand, how your students feel and think. And I think it's only when you have concern and that you're showing care, then you will be able to know how they feel and how they think. One of the things is that everyone likes to feel special, isn't it? Yeah. So sincerely compliment them and let them know they are special. Heaven, I'm so grateful that you made a decision to come to this training class. Let them know it's not for granted that they came. Everyone wants to be given hope in terms of there is a better tomorrow. Because what I've heard, or some teachers say, wow, I've always misled children. This training, don't just say, kweli ulikuwa unafanya vibaya. I said, yes, it might have been there, but you know what? The reason why God brought you here so that you can become what? So tomorrow is going to be better. And so you are giving them what? Isn't it? So that they don't feel like, and that's something that you can do. The other thing you want to do is that people want to be given direction, isn't it? They want to be shown how things are done and how they can do them. So be willing to give that direction as well. People also come into our classes and they may be low emotionally, isn't it? Because they have issues that are bringing into your class. So be willing to encourage. And I love the devotions in our classes, especially TC classes. But even when we're doing seminar, sometimes I know we are pressurized with time, isn't it? So we just want to start. Why evangelize children? Okay, straight into the training subject. But if you take the time to just do a small devotion, that may speak to our heart. And at the end of the day, they're like, maybe that's what God brought me for. Into this class. Yeah, the trainings will help him, but probably that is what will speak to his heart the greatest way, isn't it? So just know that people come to your classes with issues, so be willing to as well encourage them. And I think the list can go on and on. So the question that I'm putting to you as an individual is that what are some other things you can do to show your students that indeed you care, that indeed you value them? And that's what we're saying. Because I think that impacts life, that even when I come here and I'm a professor or a doctor and I just pour a message or information to people, students will, what they say, people do not want to know how much you know, but they want to know how much you do what you care. So that care is the greatest impact that it makes in their life. So treat them with respect. They are students, yes, but some of them, like I go to classes, some of the people I'm seeing there, I can call them my dad or my mom, isn't it? They are bigger people, isn't it? And older people. Or even the younger ones still need that respect. So think through that question. You can write it down and think through it. And just list several things that you think, what can I do to make my students know that indeed I care? That they will go out of class feeling appreciated. Because some of them are not finding that anywhere else. Not in their working places, not even in the church when they are recognized. Okay? Then the next thing that is also important to take note of is the R. And the R here I just say read. Read. Yes, that's the thing. If you're going to make your classes great, please make sure that you are a reader. So what that means is that I need to take time to do a lot of study and research and know what is happening in the current places we are in, so that I am current. I know that the speaker just used a word that you don't want to become irrelevant, isn't it? So you don't want to remain irrelevant. You want to remain current. And you can only remain current when you are reading and studying. I know CF Notes has a lot to read. And sometimes you think, what else can I add into this? But you know what? You can still do a lot of reading on the same subject, and maybe you added just 2 different points or quotes or thoughts. And that adds a lot of value in that class. Are you together? So be a reader. I know, and we always tell people, and you people know because we did come to CF training, and they say that Kenyans are not a reading country, isn't it? Tunasoma tu kama tunaenda kufanya mtihani. Tukimaliza hata kama tunaweza tupa hizo vitabu tutupe. In fact, when Reverend Lois yesterday said, hata hizo notes na copy, the researcher said, can you people go back to them? You have notes, but very few. Sometimes it's only when you are called to go and speak about the same. And I think ilikuwa mahali tulisoma kitu kama hebu niangalie hizo zilikuwa zinasema nini. But read. That's the thing. Be willing to read. Understand your subject. If you are going to do any kind of a subject, be it a super seminar subject, you are the authority at that time on that subject. So understand it at the finger points, that when you ask any question on that subject, wherever you're able to respond to it, isn't it? This helps you to teach the subject as well and the concept behind each and every point when you understand and we read, so that you're not only going to be reading points. I don't know whether you've seen instructors who stand in front, it's like they're competing with covering the points, isn't it? Have you seen someone like that? They are there. Their competition is that I may cover what is given here. So point. Now remember, in teaching, it's not about covering the points. It's about explaining the points. It's about bringing that concept out clearly. And I think when you're going to be an effective teacher, it's an issue of bringing out, teaching the concept, teaching the subject, and not basically covering the point. And wherever you are, I think that's one thing that you need to consider. Someone said, even as we are reading, know this, that knowledge is proud that it knows so much. When you think you are knowledgeable, you become proud that you know so much. But they say, wisdom is humble because it knows so little. Did you get that? Knowledge is proud that it knows so much. But wisdom is humble because it knows so little. So when you have wisdom, you realize I know so little, so I need always to do what? To learn. But when you think, like some of us who've been in CF for like so many years, sometimes you feel, naweza simama tu. Saa zingine I feel like I'm tempted to even stand and say, child the New Testament. Kama sina note naweza kufundisha tu mpaka mwisho. Because but I still need to read, I still need to add to it, I still need to make some other things different, because then it makes a big difference. Why evangelize children? Even when you are walking up, final authority, some of us know those 6 points on their fingertips, isn't it? So you can just go there and why evangelize without notes. Knowledge is proud that he knows so much. But wisdom is humble that he knows so little. And I think we need to have wisdom, isn't it? So that is very key as we are thinking about teaching. Please make sure you are taking time to do what? To read. And as you are reading, you will be able to share some of the experiences you had, you read from books, or you heard from people. I think, maybe 2 times. One time I was speaking in the Nairobi University, their chapel, in earlier this year. And when we settled with the leadership, taking tea, one commented, you made your subject so practical, and it just because I had quotes here and there and wherever and said, it shows that you did a lot of study on this subject, because the things that you are saying with quotes and illustrations, they were so practical and so real. And I think that's what you want your students to feel, that huyu mtu amejua kile anafanya, si ndio? But if not, then it will be just kawaida. So it's like if you gave them no, they can as well go and read. But that's not what you want to do. You are there so that you can make things different. Use testimonies, especially when you're teaching. Again, things that you hear from your Good News Club, things that you see from your ministries, those things make your teaching also real, because people will know you are not only teaching theory, but you are teaching something that you yourself is what? Doing, isn't it? And I think that makes a difference in the lives of people. You know very well, from one of the videos that we always watch when we're doing a training here, says that you cannot impart what you do not have. You cannot give someone what you do not have. So have what you give people. Thank God I wasn't using PowerPoint. Okay, so read. Then the next one is be enthusiastic as you do your lessons. Be enthusiastic. Let the message you are passing across be part of you. The message you are passing across. I don't know whether someone has ever taught or we've been to a seminar or whatever. You can really tell this person is basically teaching from the head. He's basically teaching from this is not part of his life, isn't it? You don't want that to happen. Let them see that what you're teaching is part of you. You know it, you enjoy it, you love it, you teach it with passion. When people see that in you, then they will really appreciate that. I like how Ogola does these things. Ogola does things with the, when, you just see this guy. I don't know where he has gone to. But, you want that passion. Hata kama, points haikuwa hata nzuri sana, lakini vile ameleta, unatoka tu hapo unasikia, kitu lazima hata mimi ingie, sio? You want that enthusiasm. Your teaching should not, you don't have to be loud. Some people are not loud, isn't it? But, being enthusiastic does not mean you are loud, does not mean you are everywhere and all that kind of thing. No. It just means that people can see you are passionate about what you are doing. Your teaching should not be a duty. It's not just something that I just have to do. You are doing it. And let me say this, specifically for those who are doing TC. Because I've had experiences. I know many times seminars you are invited, like churches and groups. Many times you are expecting something. Hello? So ukifanya unafanya kwa sababu unajua baada ya hii
na kitu kwa
lakini TC saa zingine ziko dry ni transport peke yake. Lakini sasa ni vile tu lazima uende ufanye. So you just want to do it because I have to do it. And I don't think that's the proper way of doing things, is it? I'm that TC, where you may not expect much. Do it because you love it. It's not a duty. It's something that you love because you know the impact it will make in the lives of children. Because everything we do, our mind is focusing on who? Children. The child. And that's why I wonder. Someone will wake up, they knew they are in the program, and they come to class, and they even forgot their notes. Hello. Ama naongea vitu haifanyiki. Pengine pale huko mko sawa, lakini mimi nimeenda mahali mtu amesahau, anaomba mwingine. Uko na notes za managing your classroom, usijue hizo zako.
Edwin, si hata kuomba notes, anatumia students manual.
Yes. Yeah. I went to another TC. Now they one of the students manual. Hebu nisaidie na hii yako. Kwa hiyo ndio alitumia kufanya nini? I mean, I don't ever want to say about that. But that's too expensive. Did you really want to do it? Ama ni vile tu sasa haungesema hapana, lazima ukue. So that's when you only cover the material, isn't it?
Yeah.
You should not teaching from within your heart. And the impact you leave behind, really? So may just God help us. May God help us. The super seminar, as well as we are being still, people expect a lot. I've also gone to a super seminar, and as much as someone will give you something at the end, some people still do not, they just walk in and they just do it casually. And sometimes they think, people may not, some people may think, for you, the information you given them is the best. But someone who is trained and sitting in that class says, so I don't think we should go there. We are making all things new. And we want to make our classes excellent, isn't it? You may not be the best instructor, we are not the same. But kuna kile unafanya unasema, yenyewe hii I have given it my all. I'm not like Edwin, I'm not like Christine, I'm not like, lakini nimejua nimeipeana all my heart I poured into this. You know yourself when you've done that, and you know the feeling that comes within your heart when you've done that. But also when you've just given some standard, you also know that hapo nimejifanya tu, lakini sijafanya anything. It says that to be enthusiastic, you need charisma. And it is said that charisma isn't based on IQ. It's not more of the intellect, knowledgeable person as much. It's not based on genetics or social or ministry position or amount of support or luck or every number of years you have taught. Instead, it can be learned. To be enthusiastic, you can learn. Isn't it? And have charisma, you can learn. I always give this example, and I know I tell people in some training that for me, it's a miracle that I can stand before people and teach. Because I'm shy. Have you noticed I'm shy? But I am a shy guy, and I never imagined I could do it. But when I knew God had called me to it, I just said, God, you just have to work in my life and make me that person you want me to be. And then I stand in crowds, isn't it? And share. So you can learn it. You can learn it. The instructor who develops his or her charisma is likely to do well in all the aspects of training. That's because on different levels, they better connect with students. You can better connect with students and relate with students as well. They say by definition that charisma is more direct. A charismatic person is more directed and more emphatic in terms of it can bring out what he wants to bring out clearly, and he knows where he's going and he gives that kind of a thing. You also become self-confident, isn't it? Not necessarily on the terms of now you feel that you are better or whatever, but you can do what you're doing with authority because you know what you're doing. So I pray that God will help us to be enthusiastic as we do our classes, isn't it? Give it your all. As I train teachers, I always tell them, as you teach as if you will never teach again. Because who knows? Especially for the kids, who knows that kid who was in your class today will never come back to that class. And if you say, leo wacha tu nifanye hivi pengine siku ingine nitafanya better, hiyo siku ingine pengine haitafika. Hiyo siku uko naye ndio uko naye, take it seriously and give your best in it. Then A stands for active involvement. Active involvement. And again, this is something that we probably know. Active involvement. So actively involve your students. Actively involve your students. Plan so you have great variety in your classes so that you are not predicted. Be unpredictable. Wasijue, nimejuanga fulani akianza hivi ndio anaendanga, you know. So that before, when you stand, they just know. You want to make sure that you have variety, isn't it? By involving your students. Again, they say that maximum learning is as a result of maximum student involvement. You can remember one of the videos that we watched. Maximum learning is as a result of maximum student what? Involvement. So involve them. You give them different things to do in your class so that again greatest learning will take place. At this moment, I just want you to think with me. What are some activities that you can involve your student in to maximize the learning? And again, those activities must be planned carefully and with an objective in mind. They are not just to cover up your class time. They are not just so that they are there, but what are you aiming with them? What do you want to achieve with them? Okay, so you think in that direction. Because sometimes I've also watched classes where naona tu mtu aliweka tu activity kwa sababu iko kwa lesson plan, sasa ikue tu. So weka students in groups, they discuss. When they come back, you are not even keen on what they are reporting. Wana report and then kama hiyo imeishia hapo, unaingia kwa notes zako unaendelea. Then why did you in fact put them into groups in the first place? Why were they discussing in the first place? Did it have a meaning or a purpose? Okay? Neighborhood. Is it just so that you have a variety of methods, or do you have a purpose with that neighborhood? Is there something you are looking for? Is it something that is going to enhance that learning? Okay? So think with me and help me. What are some of the activities that you can purposefully plan in your classes that will enhance learning? Yes. Some ways you can involve your students.
Questions
Yes.
and answers.
Oh.
Questions and answers.
Okay. Questions and answers. Again, planned purposefully, isn't it? Not so that there's just a question, okay? Umerusha hiyo swali, imeenda hivyo, it didn't even bring out anything. What are you aiming at when they're answering? Are you keen to listen, take it in? If it is not on the right direction, you pick it and see how you work with it. If it's in the right direction, how do you pick it and let the person know, yes, that's, So you have to think through. Yes, Christine, wanted to say something?
I wanted to say discussion of maybe typing and reading and that sort of
Okay. When people read themselves, it makes more sense to them than if you just read yourself, isn't it? Or those kind of group discussions, as I say, class groups and so forth. Any other way? Yes?
Using case studies.
Okay, case studies. Like when you're doing, I'm thinking of the one that normally we use case studies a lot is encouraging a newly converted. And when you do that case study, what are you achieving? Okay, are you able to pick it and let people see? Oh, because those case studies have them see the reality on the ground. And so how do you pick it so that they see, oh, this is what the children will be facing and this is how it can be handled. Again, I've seen people who give those case studies, students come and report, imeripotiwa imeishia tu hapo, wewe unaendelea tu na mafundisho zako. So think about what is it achieving. What did you say, something?
Kids and role plays.
Okay, kids, role plays. Okay, all those kind of things. So basically involve your students. In fact, even the way we give them opportunity to do practicals, that is also involvement in a way. And sometimes, depending on, if I'm doing a seminar that is more than 1 day, I in one way or the other have to have students do something. Because I know in sometimes super seminar we only think of giving, isn't it? So super seminar, if it's a 1 day, it's a little bit tricky to have them do something. But in fact, in that, in one way or the other, for example, when we've learned the tool, then I will have someone stand and share only the whole page on what they understood. And that helps you know, did they catch what you told them? Do that and you say, I did another seminar, and when I ask students to do that, I'm like, God, did they get what I was teaching? Because the points couldn't come out clearly. And I had to do that to teach the points again and redemo to them. So those kind of things. Even in the super seminars, you can have them, it might not be an organized practical like you do in TC, but you can have them either in groups, work as a group, have one person present on their behalf or something like that within the class. So involvement. And then finally, Yes, a time makes a big difference, and I will explain what that means. T stands for time. Time makes a big difference. Now, I want to pick it from two perspectives. One, investing time in preparation, and kind of that goes into something that I already said. Investing your time in preparation. When last did you revise your notes? Don't carry up your hand, just make do it. When last? You know, I went to another place, nikapata mtu na the very first seminar notes, the super seminar notes. Hata umejua they change the head, the way they are doing the outline and whatever. I'm like, do they still exist? But that's what someone amekaa pale naye. Hata unaweza ona tu hii kitu ni miaka 10, 15 years old. And I think it has been revised 2 or so times. So are you current? But even with the current, have you revised those notes? Have you worked on them? Okay? Again, going back into what we said, we just walk in and unafikiria umejua, so you can teach them without notes. So why really look through those notes once again? So even those super seminar notes, how often do you revise them? Someone may not look at them, but you yourself, you feel that's okay with them. The illustrations used 2000 and then in 2017, they're the same. Okay? Then the other thing is invest time in your students as well. So time in your preparation, but time in your students. Let them know you are there, so they can speak to you. So be approachable, be accommodating to them. I gone to some TCs that I just don't know what people will see, or it's because what I say, but students will come to me and share with me very intimate issues. And we pray with them, and like, what do they see? Why don't they go to someone else? Okay? Is there something they are seeing that will make them want to do that? Unajua kuna wale wako na stone face. Hapa ni wakali sana. I know that for some people when I'm in people tell me, hey, you look always na ukapata kukuja kwako. But when people get to know that I'm there and we start talking, then they realize, this is a busy guy, he's not just like, okay? So please make sure that you are approachable, people can talk to you. Okay? And when they are talking to you, be attentive to them, listen to their issues, because as much as you are there to teach them in TC and cover those classes for super seminar, who knows that God may have brought you there to also minister to their own personal needs. And you may make a greater impact by doing that than ever just thinking I only needed to cover these materials. So invest time in your students. And I think that even goes with when we're doing TCs, those students who are weak. Sometimes we feel that we cannot, these people, kwani kwa nini understand it, we don't explain. I remember one instructor who said, where were you when I was teaching that? An instructor. Student anauliza, wewe umejua ulifundisha? So nasema, kwani I know if that is so, if a teacher in primary school says that, I will understand. But that instructor will see it. Who has gone through all this training? But it's fair, isn't it? But when these students come, I able to sit there and help them one by one. Again, some of us have been really recognized because of that. Students say, really thank you. Sikuwa naelewa hii mambo, lakini umenisaidia, give your time. And those are the things that, those little things make a very big difference in people's lives. Than if you just assume. So whatever it is, super seminar, TC, invest time in their lives. Yule ana struggle sana, kana yeye kumsaidia. I remember the last this year of Mombasa. Hey, wamama hapo, you know, kizungu imeenda, you know. So mambo inapita. Sasa maswali nini? So inabidi hata wakati mwingine with my little Swahili, you try to now explain things in Swahili so that they understand and all that. But that time makes a difference. Okay? Some of us, and I'm going back to TC, where the students are to redo. How many times have you just given a pass because you didn't want to sit for a little? You didn't want to listen for a little? So, this Saturday night, ma'am, what are you petition will for? Yes, umejijua. Sema tu. Just because you didn't want, unataka tu finalizana na hii, remember hii hand in iishie hapo. So instead of just saying, okay, you know, this clean thing, you can do it better. And if you do this and this and this, so I'm willing to listen to you again. Okay, what are you? Good. Good is the least, isn't it? Invest time. Because the main purpose is not just that they got a good, that the main purpose is when they go out there, they're able to teach the content you taught them in a better way and help their students in the next way. So do that. And if possible, if there are things that you can do extra to just show them that indeed you again value them and you are there for them, just do that. Okay? Any question or comments? Question or comments? I just wanted to ask again, and I think next session we'll be doing this because it will be more of us doing things that me sharing. But can someone share, or some people share, some experiences you've had, something that you're saying, I wish I was given opportunity to get one day So we know you are not going to be pointing names or pointing people fingers or saying names. But something you notice out there in the field that you feel, I wish this was done differently. I wish huyu angejua akifanya hivi inaweza saidia mwanafunzi more than the way he has done. Anyone want to share anything like that? Kama tunaogopa. Sema nikisema, I think fulani atajua tu mimi. Okay. Yeah, so when we'll be probably in our discussion groups, that's something that I want to, because probably fulani atakuwa kwa hiyo discussion and we share and it comes out, then it can help us. Because what we want to do is let's make our training special, isn't it? Whatever training. Hata kama umepewa tu one class, ufanye special. Ukitoka hapo, watu waseme, sijawahi ona instructor kama huyu, okay? This person knows what he is doing. No, when we talk about professionalism, isn't it? He's a professional. If you may not have gone to the higher level of education, if God allows you to do so well and good, but kwa sababu wewe umejua kufanya hii kazi vizuri na ndio umejua, ufanye mpaka watu wajue ya kwamba kweli umejua kile unafaa. I think that's what you want to do. Again, for the glory of God, for the benefit of the boys and girls that are going to be with the gospel of Jesus Christ. The last thing I want to say is that as you do the training, please encourage your students. Sawa. Be an encourager. Encourage your students. Some of the people I know are here just because someone took time to do what? Encourage. And if someone didn't do that, there are people who will have given up on ministry. They will have said, because kuna wengine waliambiwa wewe hauwezi, wewe ufanye nini? Huwezi. And you don't want to do that to your students. So make your classes special by having great classes, isn't it? By having great classes. Okay, we'll just remember as we started, we talked about what? We said that the threat to teaching is what? Satisfaction. I pray that I will not come to the moment where I feel I am satisfied. I am where I am, and so I'm okay. That I don't give room for improvement. Because the good is the enemy to the better is the enemy to the best. And so I want to be the best, so I will not allow the good to take over or the better to take over. I want to be the excellent teacher God wants me to be for the glory of God. Let's just take time to pray as we finish up this class. And as we pray, I just want you on an individual basis. I don't know where you are. I don't know what you've been doing. Even when you think about training, maybe there are things that God has just spoken to you and you just feel like, God, I want you to help me in this area. I just want you to make me better in this area. I have been doing things this way, but I'm realizing I can make them better, or I can make them best. Yes, they may have been good, but can they be improved on? Just talk to God about it. Maybe there was a sense of reluctance. Things have just become normal. It has become just business as usual. That you can just take notes anyhowly and just feel you still can teach without thinking through those notes, without praying, without doing studies and preparing. You're just asking God, just as our theme says, making all things new, may you make me new, even in this area of training. No one may be monitoring you, but God is seeing what you do, and He knows whether you're giving your best or not. And I think that is really what matters. Heavenly Father, we are so grateful to you that you picked people like us, people who are nobodies, people who didn't even know how to probably teach others, people who were lost in sin, and you saved, and you made us to be your workers. Lord, what a privilege it is that we can be co-workers with you. Lord, when we look at that privilege, we know it comes with responsibility. What a big responsibility you put in our hands. As someone said that God can bestow no greater compliment on anyone than to place his book in your hands and call you teacher. That's the greatest compliment you put in our hands. And so therefore, as we do it, as we teach others, as we train others, and even as we teach you, Lord, I pray that you allow us to give our best. And Lord, even deep down in our hearts, we'll be so satisfied that indeed to give you are all. That you don't be feeling condemned, that you did take time to prepare. We pray that we work in our hearts and in our lives so that our trainings will be special, because we'll be taking into consideration some of these things that we've looked at. Thank you for this session. We pray that areas that we need to change will allow us to change. Areas that we just need to make them a little bit better will help us to make them better. Even as we go for tea break, we pray that you go with us and bless our tears to partake of it. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Good.